IPA Convention and Festival. It's my pleasure to introduce this next band. We're gonna have a fun evening with these guys. Let's get it up for Lenny Gomulka and his Chicago Push.
Where were you back then? I miss you, my friend. I wish that you'd come back and say oh. Where polka bands are in and all the fun begins. Welcome to another polka festival. They have the best of all here at the festival. Welcome to another polka festival. Here at the very band, here at the polka fest. Welcome to another polka festival. Let's hear you screaming, yeah. Tell everybody you're welcome to the IPA 55th Anniversary Festival and Convention right here. We're going to have fun for the next 3 or 4 days. I think it goes on until next Thursday. Dance, have a good time. Here we go. Oh yeah, thank you everybody. Happy Friday to you. Yours truly, Lenny Gomulka, the Chicago Push here for the next 4 hours, 5 hours. I think we're here till 4 o'clock in the morning, by the way. Okay, maybe 3. We're gonna leave an hour before the banquet, actually. How about a hand, everybody, for Garrett Gitano and the orchestra and the band doing a great job. Good to see these guys. What a nice, solid group. Nice to be with them. How about a hand for the New Brass Express also while they're getting ready to come up here in a little while as well. We welcome you. Remember, dedications are always welcome up here to the bands. Just write us a note if you can and ask us for a special tune or let us know what you're celebrating. We'll be more than happy to play a special number for you. We hope you're planning on having a good time because we sure are. What a great, great job the IPA is doing. Look at a great crowd out there on this Friday. How about a hand for the IPA, everybody? They're doing it up right.
Lenny, 10th year anniversary.
What's that?
10th year anniversary right here.
For Holly and JD, on their 10th anniversary, we're going to send one out. Here's one called Dream of Me, Polka. They're going to be honeymooning with us on the Gateway Clipper on Monday. The boat's gonna be a rockin', right?
You are gonna take our whole crack night. All right. Let's go. Let's crack, y'all.
needing you. Every time we say goodbye, it gets harder to do. But when I'm far away somewhere, Lord and love is in its thoughts. All I've gotta do is picture you, and I can feel you in my heart. Ooh, dream of me. Every time you get the feeling through. Dream of me, and I'll be dreaming of you. Dream of me. Every time you get the feeling through. Dream of me, and I'll be dreaming of you. I've been a lot of places, but there's just no place like home. Yes, I'm always on my way back to you every minute that I'm gone. So when you get the feeling lonely, remember we will always be apart. Close your eyes and think of me, and you will feel your heart. Ooh, dream of me. Every time you get the feeling through. Dream of me, and I'll be dreaming of you. Dream of me. Every time you get the feeling through. Dream of me, and I'll be dreaming of you. Polka, one of our recordings. That's on our CD, by the way, called Home is Where the Heart Is. Our latest CD is called To the Moon and Back, and we have some available right here by the stage, right here by the bandstand. Also, you can see Kathy B out there in the lobby. She has a few copies as well. And we thank you for your support of that CD. To the Moon and Back. It's winning an award here this year by the IPA, we're proud to say. And we're going to be playing many tunes for you. A little bit later on, we're going to be bringing up Dee Dee and Ryan. A little bit later this set, and also on our next set, they're going to be singing with us with some of those tunes that we recorded on our To the Moon and Back CD. Here's a number right now. We're going to send this out for all of our Polish and Slovenian friends and fans. Brothers and Sisters, Polka. We like this when we recorded this also. We kind of stole it from the Slovenian crew. And they didn't mind. We're happy about that. Going to feature the Slovenian stylings of Richie Zabrowski on his accordion. By the way, Rich is going to be bringing in an award tomorrow. Rich is going to be receiving the Leon Kozicki Award from the IPA. Rich Zabrowski, how about him, everybody? We'll be there to cheer him on tomorrow. He's as nervous as heck. Brothers and sisters, here we go. music fills the air. Our lives are full of free. When people dance on memory, our faces shine with glee. When we do songs of happiness and shout to the I-O. Long live our brothers, long live our sisters, sweet, sour, and soul. Życie nam raksza, życie mężości, sweet, sour, and soul. Brothers and sisters, gather round, and let's hold hand in hand. Till love embraces all the world and blesses every land. Let's keep on singing songs of joy with shouts of I-O. Życie nam raksza, życie mężości, sweet, sour, and soul. Long live our brothers, long live our sisters, it's our rock. Here's Richie, Dabrowski on the accordion. And as we share a song with you, one common bond we have, a universal song of love that blesses every land. We sing these songs of happiness with shouts of the I-O. Żyjmy na bracia, żyjmy i sestry, żyjmy i Brothers and sisters, Polka, thank you.
Well, we're not going to mention that, but that's okay.
Lenny, got it. Oh yeah. That'll be.
Hey, that's what we say too. It's our joke. I said play it, bitch.
I was inspired.
Yep.
We always neglect the dancers, so we want to make sure we play something nice for the dancers right now. By the way, I like the way I have the stage all set up with the dance floor being just behind this front area a little bit. Very nice. For the dancers right now, here's one for you. A song that we always get many requests for right here, especially in Western Pennsylvania. And this is one that's called Wine and Roses. Wine and Roses. Here we go.
Exactly. Why held me down? How are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, spokojnie, spotkamy się. Księżyc będzie świeci nami, spotkamy dzisiaj się. A te róże, a te usta, wina smak. I pewnie czerwony znasz, i kochana. A te róże, a te usta, pamiętać chcę. odesłaju, wieczór zawsze trwał. Ten wieczór będzie nasz i nie skończy nigdy się, chociaż noc odeszła już, się tobie chce pić. I ten wieczór jest nasz i tylko nasz. A te róże, a ten stan wyraz ma. Pamiętać chcę, pamiętać chcę. With every breath I take, every promise that I made, I pledge my love to you until I die. And if that day should come, if a cloud should hide the sun, please know you're the only one in my eyes. Happy stars in a smile. Ten wieczór jest nasz i tylko nasz. A te róże, happy stars in a smile. Pamiętać chcę, pamiętać chcę. Hey, a beautiful waltz right there. Riding Roses for all you dancers, especially. That was going out to you. That's one of our recordings as well. Off our CD called Millennium, which is available here also out there by Kathy, out there by the concession. Remember, CDs by all the bands that you're seeing here and more are available out there by the CD concession. We appreciate that support. Each and every of the bands, every one of the bands do. We also have t-shirts in front of some of the bands, so do take a look. We all appreciate that, the bands do.
Hey folks, I want to let everyone know about something special in limited supply they have available right outside of the hall here. For those of you that are golfers, or if you are not a golfer but you are a fan or a friend of Richie or Jerry Tokarsh, They had some special golf balls made up. They had the IPA emblem on one side, and on the other side a picture of Richie and Jerry tow cars. So they have sleeves of these that have 3 in a sleeve. They have 16 left, and it's only $10 for 3 of them. So if you'd like to have something to put on your knick-knack shelf at home or on your mantle, right outside the door here where they're selling a bunch of the t-shirts and other items, they have these available. They're really, really beautiful. And again, it's quite a collector's item with Richie and Jerry's picture on the other side. So make your way out there because they only had 16 when I walked by there, and they sure they don't have that many left anymore. So make a trip.
Here's a number that I wrote and we recorded several years ago. This is called God Bless This Music, Polka. And God bless all of you that traveled in so many miles, so many states, so many hours you drove. You flew in for being here this special polka weekend. Thank you. And may God bless all of you. This one's for all of you. May God bless this music, polka. Here we go. I don't claim to be religious, nor do I claim to be a saint of God. But I claim to know the difference from right and wrong. I live from day to night. So I'm traveling many miles with these words up on my head. I sometimes take these words when I need an understand. God bless this music, God bless this song I sing, God bless my family, God bless my everything. God bless these people who drive from everywhere and keep us safely under special care. The minutes turn to miles, the hours turn to weeks, we're on the road. And the good Lord only knows I miss my friends and my family back at home. And I swear to the mountains every second of the way, every minute, every mile, every hour of the day. God bless this music, God bless this song I sing, God bless our family, God bless my everything. God bless these people who drive from everywhere and keep us safely under special care. Thank you. God bless this music, polka. And God bless you, everybody, for being here. We're going to have a nice time this weekend. I can just feel it on this Friday.
How are ya? Hello, everybody.
I'm going to see if I can ask Ryan and Dee Dee to come up to the stage and join us right now, if we can get them up here with us to sing a couple of tunes. You know, just a couple of weeks ago, we did something called Lenny Live 2 in Frankenmuth, Michigan. We had Gary Ramey and Dave Zahowski, Peppermint Productions, down there with us once again. Kind of a reenactment of our first Lenny Live recording that we did at that same venue in Frankenmuth. However, maybe 22 years later, so we had such a great time. How many of you were in Frankenmuth a couple weeks ago? Did you have a good time? What a great guy, Mark Jansen. Great festival. Give us just a moment here to get set up. You know, Ryan and Franken with Ryan came up, and after one song, I think he broke a string. And then like 3 days later, I was streaming. He was on stage, and I was streaming, and he broke another string. So we're hoping he doesn't break a third string here today.
Okay. Yep, I'm good. Yep. All right. Not a hurt. Oh, okay. While we're waiting for things to settle in
Please remember that
here,
we featured Ryan and Didi on with us
tell
on our
all your
latest CD.
friends
To the moon with that.
a little something special here going on with Lenny Gomulka on the push.
This song goes over big in Western Pennsylvania. Also,
Ryan Joseph
also
and Didi
sometimes in
Rodney
certain parts of South
up here
Chicago
on the stage.
through the years. Right,
Spread the
Jimmy?
word to your friends.
Here we
Tell
go.
them jump on board. We're live here at the IPA 55th Annual Polka Convention and Polka Fest.
Fiddle. Didi on the vocal, everybody. One called Honey Wada. Okay, thank you. Here's Didi on the vocal along with Ryan. Here's one that they're very well known for. We're going to send this out especially to Ralph and Kim. Especially for Ralph, Sabatini, one of his favorites. Here we go, one called Pickin' Cherries Polka. Didi and Ryan on the vocal. Here we go.
What is the
How about a hand for Dee Dee, Ryan, everybody right there. One call. Taking cherries, Polka.
Yeah, that last song brings back all the memories of a group called Henny and the Versajays. When Ryan's grandfather played the fiddle with Henny and the Versajays, and Dee Dee sang that song, Picking Cherries.
Here we go again, Dee Dee and Ryan on the vocal. Here's one they recorded with Henny and the Versajays. Here's one that's called I Give You Music. I'm sorry I'm letting the time run away on me here, so we've got time for one more song here. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to bring up the new Brass Express. We're going to work out a mess of songs for you so we get up here on our next set to have ourselves a little more organized, if you will. And I do want to say before we take a pause here that folks have asked us earlier about the Nashville trip, the Nashville VIP tour coming up in October. And yes, there's still room, and you can sign up here. Danica is here. Dee Dee, Ryan, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. We have flyers right by the stage here. Flyers also available out there in the lobby. And as we take an intermission now, please come up and talk to us and get all the details at VIP Nashville Tour. Polka Tour, yours truly, Lenny, Gomulka, and Chicago Push, along with Ryan and Danica and Dee Dee.
And the only thing I'll add this semester, can you tell I'm teaching this semester? I'm on my college teaching break. The only thing I'll add to that, Lenny, this set, and then we'll add some more stuff next set. But if you went with us last year and you thought there was star power besides Lenny Gomulka, you wait till you come this year. We've been confirming some incredible people, and we're really excited to share them with you. So thanks, Lenny. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. We're going to turn the stage over to the Duke.